Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you are having a good start to your day. We're here to talk you through the commute and any issues that are happening. Maybe you're wrapping up your week and you want to have as smooth of a travel as possible. And here over the next roughly 15 minutes, we're going to walk through what issues you can expect to run into and how you can avoid those. We're going to start on I-80. We do have a couple of issues that have popped up in the area around 72nd, 84th. Did have a brief spin out near 72nd that looks to have cleared. The other issue you could see there with the flashing lights on the entrance ramp from 84th to get onto I-80, and that looks like it may be getting into the wrap-up stages as well with a possible crash there. So this does kind of emphasize something I've been mentioning through the course of the morning is you want to be careful for maybe a couple of slick spots this morning. We do have temperatures that have gotten below freezing, and we had that rain yesterday. So possible that as we're getting on some of those ramps, the bridges, there could be a few areas where things get a little bit slick in the early going. So keep that in mind. This is what it's looking like here. There's that entrance ramp as you are trying to get onto eastbound I-80 where you saw the flashing lights there. Just a little bit slow as people navigate that spot. And then if I zoom out a little bit, you can see some delays showing up as people kind of notice those flashing lights as you're going eastbound between 84th and 72nd. So keep that in mind. You're heading through those spots. You could run into things going a little slower than normal. No big problems there, but could be a problem that you encounter as you go through those stretches. Give you a view of what things are looking like overall through the metro. And you can see there is a lot of green on the map. It is going to be a kind of morning where, again, neighborhoods, bridges, you want to use a little extra caution as you head through those areas for any potential issues that may fire up as we maybe get some freezing to take place. Also hearing of maybe some issues with a possible crash on Dodge. We're kind of investigating that right now. We'll let you know if we find anything with that. Okay. Okay, looks like we briefly had some flashing lights there. Dodge, roughly about like 144th to 156th. That looks like it has cleared maybe at this point. So good sign that maybe that was just a quick issue that is now cleared up. You do notice some of the roads there trying to get to Dodge are pretty slow. That's just some heavy traffic there, 156th. You're seeing some of those delays in place. Watch for that as you're heading through that area. Elsewhere, give you a view of, maybe we'll check in here on 90th and Dodge. As you can see that we do have some delays that are in place at this point with heavy traffic volume. I'll pull up that camera so you can see what you can expect in that area. Here we go. So there's 90th and Dodge with that heavy traffic volume heading eastbound. So you're looking at the busy traffic at 90th and Dodge. We're sort of picking things up this morning. A couple of other areas that have some busy traffic this time. It is the kind of morning where, of course, we're going to be looking at some delays on the JFK. Let me show you what I'm talking about here on the maps. And this is as you're approaching I-80. Those delays extend to about Q, or L, I should say. So no major delays, but it is quite slow in the immediate vicinity of I-80 as you head northbound. Also, of course, my graphics did a little glitch there. That was fun. Some slow travel as you're going through the 72nd and L area. That's that construction zone where we are looking at the one-lane travel all directions. 72nd does look slightly better this morning than yesterday, but you can see L Street very slow. If you are looking for an alternate route here, do know that 84th also has some construction that's in place. That's between Giles and Harrison, so that would also likely slow you down as you go through that stretch. 96 would probably be your best option for an alternate route. And then I do, while we have things a little bit quieter here, want to give you the first alert to what is coming this weekend. It's going to be a big traffic impact. This is the Farnham Bridge getting taken down. They'll put a new bridge in place with the streetcar project. So that bridge gets taken down this weekend, and 480 will have to be fully closed during that process. That's scheduled to start 9 o'clock tonight, be in place all the way through 6 Monday morning. You will not be able to get through there during that time frame. And as a detour, you'll be kind of pushed onto some of the ramps and exit entrance ramps in that area. Now, the problem is both of those ramps that you'd be detoured to have lane restrictions themselves. So as you're heading through those areas, be ready for traffic to back up. It's likely going to be pretty slow as you're making your way through these areas. And there's a lot going on with it being the weekend. Particularly, I want to note Creighton, men and women, have big home games this weekend. The men will be hosting St. John's on Saturday. The women hosting number 1 Yukon on Sunday. That's going to be a big game. There's probably going to be a lot of people heading their way towards CHI Health Center. And if you are going to be in that crowd, keep in mind 480 won't be available to get there. You're also going to be looking at continued work near CHI with some work affecting 10th Street, Capitol Avenue, into Douglas Street. You've got a lot of different projects that are restricting traffic there. We've had plenty of slowdowns in that area before we've had the 480 closure for Creighton games. So keep that in mind. What may be your best option is if you could find a way to get to Cumming Street and come in toward the parking lots from Cumming Street. That will help you avoid some of those issues with a lot of that work happening downtown. It's going to be a good idea no matter how you come in, though, to leave plenty of time if you're heading to the Creighton games this weekend, more than you would normally do, because there's going to be likely some pretty hefty delays with the traffic load. Let's check back in on what we have through the metro. You can see that we are picking things up for that commute with a lot of the kind of yellow specks showing up. One area with a little more of a delay is one that does make sense this point in the morning as you're going westbound on 370. In your 96, likely a lot of school traffic heading toward Papula Vista South High, that right near 108th, so watch for delays that are showing up there. Center has kind of seemed like a go-to for a lot of people who don't want to use L Street with that construction. As a result, Center has had a fair amount of delays over the course of the last couple of weeks, and you're seeing that in play right near 90th. And then in Exarban, we've had some delays off and on over the last couple of weeks. Plan accordingly. Let's show you a DOT camera, give you a view of some of the traffic. Another busy area that we often see this point in the morning. This is the 680 and Dodge interchange. Notice that it is a crawl on the ramp to get to westbound Dodge. Let's watch this for a little bit. I've pulled up a new crash. This is on Blair High. This is just to the west of 680 and right around the Potter Street area. So You can see emergency crews arriving at the scene of this one. This is right in this area where that scene has developed. Turn lane looks to be blocked in addition to the left lane there at that interchange. So again, this is Blair High that we are talking about with this new crash. This is as you're heading northbound, that left lane is blocked. So use caution in that area. You want to stay right and just be aware that this is a developing situation. We'll continue to provide details as this develops. But this is going to be quite the issue for travel in this area. In fact, let me pull up traffic maps and we can try to work on an alternate route. That looks like that could end up being a pretty major headache for us in that area. Hopefully everybody's okay from that crash. We'll monitor and let you know if we do hear anything on that. But from a traffic perspective, my graphics fight me a little bit. Here we go. You can already see delays that stretch to State Street as you're making your way toward that 680 interchange. So this is where we're talking about, right about here. With that crash. That might be... Is that 103rd, it looks like? It's at the intersection with 103rd with that crash. So let me back that icon right about here is actually where we have this. So there's a new crash that has just come in. This is Blair High, 103rd, so just off to the west of the 680 interchange. And you can see backups up to State Street already. And this is one where you may want to consider making your way to Irvington Road. If you can do that, that would be a good alternate route. That traffic already backed up to State Street, so you're looking at maybe being a little difficult to get to Irvington Road. Maybe you can make your way on Rainwood over to 108th, take that down, and then follow that down past. That won't get you to 680. If you're going to 680, you're likely going to need a different route from this as well. But that will get you, if you're heading south toward Omaha, that will get you a little bit of a better situation there. What you could do if you're trying to get to 680 instead is make your way along State Street, get to 72nd, and then enter 680 from there. But one more time, let me give you the view of that crash that has happened Blair High and 103rd Street. So it's right here, the center of your screen. And that's blocking the left lane. That says you're heading southbound where that lane is blocked. And you do have the turn lane looking like it's also partially blocked as you're trying to turn to get onto 103rd. All right, so you're watching the continued situation there at 103rd and Blair High where we have a crash that is blocking the left lane. You stay right. Be ready for delays. Consider using an alternate route. Some of those depend on where you're planning to go this morning as you head southbound. If you could turn at Rainwood, make your way to Irvington Road, take that south. That will get you toward Omaha. If you're planning to get to 680, make your way to State Street. Use that to get to 72nd, and then you can get on 680 there. We'll wrap up our stream now. We'll continue to keep you posted on the latest with this crash and anything else that develops this morning on our First Alert 6 traffic blog. You can find that at firstalert6.com. We'll also be live here in just a few minutes on First Alert 6 on your TV with the latest as well. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your Friday, and be safe if you're going to be traveling here through the course of the morning.